When you're reading an academic text, it's possible to spot some strange features. What is this? Actually, academic writing is not ancient or complicated, as this example of hieroglyphics indicates. Let's look at an actual academic research paper where we see strange objects, such as this, with parentheses and numbers. What are these? What do they mean? And what are these for? You may know, or maybe you've guessed, these refer to sources that the person who wrote the paper used in their research. So, what are these called? They're called citations. But what's this? Some of these citations look different from the first one we looked at. Why is this? Well, as it turns out, there are actually several different kinds of citation styles or formats, and which one you use depends on the discipline for which a paper is written. This tutorial will focus on MLA or Modern Language Association citation style basics. However, once you learn one style, you can easily use the others. As an example, let's say you're writing a paper on distracted driving, meaning using a cell phone or texting while driving, and you used these three sources for your research. When you were doing your research, you read and studied this book, and you also read a journal article from one of the library's online databases. Or possibly you used a print version of a journal, and you also used information from this website. Using the MLA guidebook and the MPC library handout on MLA format, let's see how to make citations for these three sources in MLA style. First, you will need to find several pieces of information in your original source. Here are examples of the information you need from your book and your journal article. This information will tell your reader more about the source you used. How should this information be organized, and where does it go? Wait, is all this information included in the text of the paper? It looks like only some of it is there. Well, where does it all go? If you said on a page at the end of the paper, you're right. And what's that page called? It's called a WorksCited page. So now we're going to build a WorksCited page for the paper about distracted driving using the sources that we talked about earlier. Once you've gathered the information, how should that information be arranged? Any old way? Well, let's think of the citation as an address. Can you address an envelope you're going to send through the mail any old way? What's wrong with this envelope? If you put this in the mail with the stamp over here and the return address and the destination addresses wherever, would this envelope get where it's supposed to go? Well, just as there is a correct way to address an envelope, there's also a correct way to organize a WorksCited page. Here are some examples of the rules you'll need to follow when you're creating your WorksCited page. We need to create a citation for the first source, which is the book Cell Phones and Distracted Driving. Using the library's handout, we can look at how a citation for a book with one author is done and use the example as a model for our citation. Okay, here's how our WorksCited list looks with one source. But what happens when you add additional sources? For example, now we need to add the citation for the journal article, which we found in one of the library's online databases. We use the library handout again, and this time we look at the section on citing journal articles from databases. Now we have two citations. Notice the list is alphabetized. Okay, now our third source is a website. Again, the handout has an example that you can use as a model for your citation. And now we have our WorksCited list in MLA format with our three sources that we used for our research. Once you have your list, you need to see how to do the in-text citations for your book and your journal article and the website you used. You can find lots of information on citations in the LibGuide, which is easily accessed from the library website. There are tabs for the different formats, and we'll want to use the one for MLA. Both the library and the English and Study Skills Center have printed handouts which you can pick up in person or access online. So, don't let strange signs from the academic world confuse you. Citations are not a mystery, and you have access to all the information you'll need to create your Works Cited list. If you have questions, come to the library or call the library at 831-646-4262. We're here to help.